So what I want you to do is grab that other piece of paper and put it in front of this one. You can label this one 1.9 box portfolio because that's going to be required, sure. And then what we're going to do for the 2 point, you're going to go same orientation. Go ahead and give yourself plenty of room, left to right. Now what I want you to do here is, again, define our eye line, okay? And I want it right in front of you. So like, I'm taking my finger and I'm putting it right in front of me. I'm kind of paying attention to where that would go. Like if I had a spray paint can, where would I leave a mark, right? So then I'm gonna come in front of me and I'm gonna go boom. And that's gonna be my eye line, right? So establish that. Only make it straighter. Actually, I don't think it matters too much that it's kind of, you know. Now, what I want you to do this time is go with 2 vanishing points, right? So put 1 on one side. If it helps you to label them, I don't know, go ahead. And put them really close to the edge, right? Otherwise, we're not going to have a lot of space that we can actually use to create this illusion of depth. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. Only this time, we're not going to start with shapes, right? We're going to start with the edge of something, okay? So start with straight lines. Only we're going to group our stuff in a little bit tighter instead of moving it all out everywhere, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one straight line kind of off to the left a little bit, but not too close to vanishing point 1. I'm going to do the same thing over here.
Is it supposed to be equally above and below?
Doesn't have to be. It just needs to intersect, okay? I'm going to go ahead and put a smaller one up here. I'm going to put one a little closer to that one, but not outside this one. You'll see why, hopefully. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to put one straight in line with the mark I made up here. I'm going to come over here and put one a little further inside. And then I think I'll come down just a little bit and in, and kind of make a small one right here. Okay, so this time, I am going to go ahead and start with one in the middle. We're actually on this one going to work our way out from the inside instead of doing what we did last time where we worked our way in from the outside. I am going to change the height of this middle one just a little bit so it's not the same as the others. Okay, so the rules are changed just a little bit here, right? When we're looking at the edge of something, and this is one of the things that I think will help you with these geometric constructions that we're going to make, that we can put shapes into, right? When I was looking here, I was looking at the face of something, right? And it was going off to a singular vanishing point. But now I'm looking at the edge of something where I have planes that go in 2 directions, right? So the rules are just a little bit different here. Everything that you would draw that creates an illusion of parallelism going back into space as a converging line on the left needs to go to vanishing point number 1. Everything on the right goes to vanishing point number 2. We're going to start with the middle, right? Only this time, so I don't erase a lot of stuff, I'm not going to take it all the way to my vanishing point. I'm going to try not to cut through these other things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the 1 to the top, like this, until I get a good feel for it. And then I'm just going to create a mark that should go all the way. Again, be confident with your marking here. Loosen up on your pencil a little bit so that you can work it in front of you and then just create a nice little mark in there that creates a placement for that. I'm going to do the same thing here. Whoops. Nope. Third time's a charm. Boom. Cool. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and go off to vanishing point number 2 from the top and the bottom. I think I'm going to extend this one out a little further. If you feel like you need to take it out like that and then erase it, fine with me. You'll just be spending more time erasing. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and define the edges of this. So it's easy to make a parallel line with a straight line, right? We just got to make a straight line perfectly straight up and down. So I'm going to give this side a little bit more space, and I'm going to make this side a little more short. So now my next step is to get rid of my extra line work here. Anything that my structure is overlapping, like my eye line or my horizon line, then I can move on to the next one. My goal for you is eventually, again, for this to be an easy task that you can do without vanishing points, to where you're looking at angles, right? I'm going to move to the left now. And on this one, I'm going to go pretty close to the vanishing point, just so I can get it back into space a little bit better. The other thing I love about not using a ruler is the efficiency. Because once you get it down, you don't have to slow yourself down with getting the right pitch, angle, all that stuff. I don't want to draw in front of this one, because that's going to kill some of the illusion of the space here. But I think I am going to go ahead and try. Yeah, I like that pretty well. Okay, so now I'm going to create a parallel there. I don't know, just to make it interesting, I'm going to get a parallel really close to this one, like it terminates before. And I'm going to get rid of my extra stuff. Oh, I shouldn't erase that. Whoops. Okay, now I'm going to do my last one on my eye line. Okay. I like that pretty well. Okay, again, great, we're making boxes, but we need to be able to use this and understand how it works, right? So, just like what we did over here, we only have access to two sides of our structure, right? And it's because of our eye line. So, when we go above and we go below, we should see more, right? We should see at least three. Oh, I forgot to drop one in here, so we'll do that. So now we're going to go ahead and drop below. Now these angles, like as they get closer to our vanishing points, they're gonna get really, really like crazy acute. Like they're gonna look weird and wrong. And what that would mean is that whatever angle or point of view that you've selected makes it to where there's a lot less space on this side of a structure, and it has to go back in a really aggressive way. Whereas this side, we're gonna see a lot more of. Okay, so I can see left side, I can see right side. How am I going to execute the top of this thing? Anybody have an idea?
On the opposite side, the opposite maybe.
Okay, yeah. I can't just say, I'm going to make that parallel like we did before, because that doesn't follow the same rules, right? We have to create that illusion of parallelism. So in order to get that, we have to bring this back to vanishing point number 2. So that's one of the reasons I like to use the different colored chalk to kind of help with that. So I'm going to bring this back. Yeah, I'm going to stop about right there. Because I kind of want to deal with another issue, right? So if I took that all the way back over here and I didn't create a limitation for that edge, it'd be done. But I'm going to create a limitation for this side by drawing a straight line down. And now I have to reverse what I did before. So if this went back to vanishing point number 2, this has to go back to vanishing point number 1. And that creates a really wonky shape up here. And again, that warping is because of how things go back into space toward that area that we cannot see any longer. So that one's complete, right? And honestly, when I look at something like this, to me, it looks more dimensional than something like this. Because it's actually really rare for you to be in a scenario where your viewpoint is completely, everything's going to one single vanishing point. When I look at all of the things in here, like when I follow the easels, the way they're set up, the way that all of your drawing boards are set up, and I were to continue that off to a vanishing point, none of you are aligned to the same vanishing point. There's like hundreds of different vanishing points happening in here. So it's extraordinarily rare for this to actually apply. It's almost kind of synthetic, honestly. The 2 point is what we experience like on a very daily basis. And again, 3 point is that weird situation where we're extremely above or extremely below something. Okay, so we're going to continue on this whole thing. Whoops. I think I'm going to take this one further back so I have an overlapping problem to deal with. So I'm defining the edge of that one so that these are behind whatever this is going to be. So it's going to give me kind of a problem to solve, right? Then I'm going to go ahead and define how wide I want this structure to be. I think I'm going to make it kind of skinny-ish on this side. Now I can go ahead and go from this point back to my vanishing point number 2.
Is it bad if like you overlap them kind of bit?
No. It'll give you a problem to solve. No big deal. So now I'm going to try to deal with this thing. We'll see how it goes here. So I think I want to have this sort of meet up where it hits this one. So that's a good spot for me to create a limitation for it. Almost like it's kind of built together, like a portico or something. Whoops. Go. And then how far do I want to go? I think I'm actually going to use this right here and join them all, just to make that a more complicated structure. Okay, I'm gonna check out what y'all have here, see how things are going.